I press rewind, cause I'ma take them back to when tragedy's all that happened. Used to act like nothing mattered.
Thank you for comedy that came from the underground. My name is Jordan Clemens, and we have Sean Dengler in the house with us, a co-host of the Graham Comedy Show that takes place in Des Moines, downtown. Don't you guys try to do those like roughly once every month?
Once a month, yes.
Yeah, definitely. It's a great show. I was recently just on it, as you saw me advertising on social media up until that day. It was a good time. Mr. Sean, how you doing?
I'm doing very well. Yeah.
All right.
That's it. How are you doing?
I'm pretty good myself, man. I feel well rested now.
Yeah. That's always important. I do not feel well rested.
No? Oh, well, shit.
Long day at work. Long week. Shit. I've had a long week.
Oh, well. Yeah, well, it's only Wednesday. So,
I know. I keep thinking it's like later in the week than it is.
Right.
And it's like, and the thing is that like it only gets busier from here.
Yeah.
Till about Friday, I don't know, at 8 p.m. probably.
Right. Yeah. Exactly.
Then life eases up on me for at least a couple days.
Yeah, it gives you that breather so you can prepare for the next sentence for the next 5. Yeah, exactly. They got that normal kind of schedule where it's like the week and you got weekends off.
Mostly, I do sometimes have to work a few weekends. In my business, I do AV stuff, so it's kind of whenever we have customers or clients that have weekend events. Or
okay, right. Yeah.
It does result in a lot of random nights, kind of at times. So. It varies.
Oh, okay.
But most of the time, if there's nothing going on like on the weekend, I'm not going to have to work the weekend.
Right.
That's how it kind of goes.
Right on, man. Yeah, definitely. Yeah, that makes sense. Yeah, no, so that helps out a lot. Yeah, that's working at Honda, doing the oil changes. Like at this time of year, we end up having quite a bit of time off because of the fact that people don't want to drive through the snow and
yes.
all that other shit to come in, and so
it's not as busy for you.
Yeah, exactly. So that's it. So we get a lot of downtime, and I have a lot of times we end up just standing around there. So yeah.
See, that's the thing though. I do like being busy. I'm a busybody. I do not, when we're slow, I don't like just sitting around doing nothing. I always like to be doing some type of thing.
Right. Yeah. Exactly. Yeah. Exactly. Yeah. That's why it's so helpful to have now I have like so many options of things to do on my phone.
That even gets boring after a sense. There's only so many times you can check Facebook.
That's true. That is true. Yeah.
And then that's just be like, all right, I've seen all I've seen.
Right. Yeah. Exactly. There's no interest in the world. Yeah.
It's like, no one's refreshed their Instagram story in the last 15 seconds. What the hell, people?
The people I'm following are clearly not living their lives.
Yeah, they are not living the life I am. Very bored at work.
Exactly. And so, yeah, that's a good point. Yeah, I feel like that's when things get cleaned.
Yes,
is when Instagram runs out of shit to look at. You know.
Exactly.
Yeah. So so thankfully that we at least have that little signal to get us into the next day. But but thank you again for being here, man.
Well, thank you for having me.
Yeah, definitely. I finally got a hold of Mohammed. I'm gonna have him on too.
Well, that's good. He's a hard man to get a hold of. He's out there. He's doing the hard. You guys could talk about. He used to work at a dealership.
Oh, really?
So you guys, maybe a little preview. You could talk some dealership talk with each other, or car talk.
Some secrets.
Yes, yeah, trade. Not anymore though.
No.
But,
okay. Well,
but you still could. You worked there for quite a while.
Right. Yeah. Definitely.
I'm just building up this Muhammad Jordan car talk. Podcast.
Yeah. You should. It's gonna sound very amateur. And, yeah, definitely. So talk it up all you want, promote it, put it up on your Facebook.
Oh yeah,
that sort of thing. It's he does. I feel like he does have a good energy to be to be around a car dealership. He's got a good positive.
Oh
energy
he does. He's a good man. He's a very positive guy through his whole story of his life.
Right on.
To be as positive as he is. It's pretty impressive.
Right on, man. Yeah, that's good. That's definitely cool. How long have you guys known each other?
Oh, probably since fall of 2015.
2015.
I think he started comedy in Des Moines a little before I did. But he was one. I would say we were in the same class when we kind of started.
Right.
Like we have been doing it together, not the Graham, but like just doing comedy together, kind of in a former fashion.
Yeah.
With each other. Like anyone else that started around that time is pretty much moved away or not doing comedy or something.
Right.
So it's kind of me and him are kind of our own class, because if you keep doing comedy long enough, you will start seeing classes of people.
Yeah.
It's weird. It just happens every so often. There's like a new batch of people start, and then they all kind of are more friends. Everyone's kind of friends, but they're like certain groups of people are more friends because they.
You're around the scene longer. And
you're around the scene
frequently.
Yeah, and if you start out with some other people and you've been with them the whole time, you're a little closer to them usually than the other people. But it's a fun little thing, weird little thing that happens, and it probably happens honestly in any comedy scene anyway.
That's a bit. That is like a thing I've heard comics talk about. Is the class of people that they start with. So they have the comics that they were coming up in the scene with, and they call it their graduating classes, the ones that are like, they're still doing it, that they were coming up with. And so it definitely, after a few years, moving away is not a bad idea. Because if you want to get to that, because definitely if it's something you're pursuing, it's good to get all that travel culture into you, so that way you can learn the road.
Yeah, I mean, if you're looking to be a road comic or any real trying to make any type of living at it, you pretty much have to end up in a bigger city at some point. Unfortunately, there are a few. I mean, the older comics, and I mean older, like middle-aged comics who successfully do it in Des Moines.
Right. Yeah.
But there's I don't know, 4 or 5, but usually they kind of They might have to do something. Well, I wouldn't say they won't have to do something else, but they're usually, they've been doing it a long enough time, or they maybe moved and then came back type of situation.
Definitely. Yeah, for sure. Yeah, that makes sense. It's you hear a lot of time. I've actually heard New York be the preference for recommendations.
Yes.
For comics to move to, just because of the volume of the city, and then the way that the comedy scene works there, and it's there's so much going on that it's like a great place to work up your chops.
Yeah, if you are seriously like you want to go to the Mecca of stand up, it is New York City. I actually lived out there briefly. I was not doing stand up at the time.
Really?
I had an internship out there.
Right on.
But I kind of was adjacent. I did more improv stuff when I was out there.
Nice.
But I remember meeting this guy who now, I don't know what he does. I still follow him on Twitter, and I'm friends with him on Facebook. But I'm not like friends. Like it's kind of acquaintance at this point. I don't know if he'd even remember who I was at this point, but right. I know he started doing stand up kind of when I was out there, or had been doing stand up in New York City. I remember talking to him, and he was just like, if you want to get good at stand up, you have to go to New York. But if you want to end up getting famous or getting more money, you're gonna move to LA at some point, because that's where all the real television opportunities are. Granted, New York still has, by the old standards, the Tonight Show and the Late Show are still out there. So that's provides something, but LA provides, I think, better opportunities for comics in the end. But there are plenty of successful comics that are in New York and LA. But those two cities are definitely by far. But by far the cities you want to go to. One last thought on that
go for it. Yeah, don't worry.
New York is probably better if you want to get out as much as you possibly can, hit as many mics.
Yeah.
And granted, hitting a high number of mics doesn't necessarily mean you're going to get great at comedy.
No, definitely not.
It's better than doing none.
Yeah,
for sure.
Exactly, yeah.
But in New York, it is with their public transit system and the bars there. I don't know what LA is, but bars there are open till 4.
Yeah.
So literally, you can do shows. If you get on mics, or even if you get above that on just even bar shows, those type of things.
Yeah.
You can do that all night long, all night. every night of the week. That's the hard part about living in the Midwest, especially like Iowa. It's like you got maybe 2 or 3 nights a week that there is a mic that you can go.
Exactly.
If you can probably, if you want to drive 2 hours, 4 hours round trip every night, you probably could hit a mic every night of the week.
True. Yeah. You really got to branch it out though, and then that's not to say that every mic will still be going on.
Yes.
Yeah. So.
Yeah, and that's a lot of travel.
Yeah, that is too much.
But in New York, you can make it a lot more manageable and hit a lot more open mics.
Exactly. Yeah. Exactly. That's exactly it.
Yeah.
That's because there's because we've talked about like the mics that go on probably a few times now on the podcast.
Yes.
But yeah, it's literally like 4 all week for sure, and then there's other ones in other places that are kind of started getting going, but like are not really there yet, and so there's literally just those 4 to go to, and and as good as that is like getting a sense of the crowd here, it's still it is still so infrequent that it is something that you would want to go to. It's just that constant grind of being able to knock it out is what's gonna set you off. But of course, there is the fact of the matter, like you said before, you can do open mics all the time and still not get any good.
Yes,
like
that's the thing. There are plenty of people I bet that are in New York or LA or Chicago or Denver, any of those cities, that have been hitting mics, for 5 or 6 years, real hard, or maybe whatever, and they still are maybe not that good. It takes a long time, you know. And I'm not saying I'm good at it.
Yeah.
What I'm saying is that it's a crapshoot in a sense, because it's like, as long as you believe as a person that you're getting better each time, that's like the best thing you can do. You can never be concerned about other people,
right? Yeah.
But like, you just never know. It's always hard, and you just have to enjoy. You really just have to enjoy the grind of why you want to keep doing it.
Exactly. Yeah.
That's the thing.
Exactly. Yeah. That's exactly it. And that's a big reason people end up quitting is like that you see the people that will like move away after a few years because they're like moving. Maybe they went to Chicago or something because they're just like making that next upgrade to a bigger area where they can do the comedy and then build up. Then do more work to find their voice and everything. And so. It's and then after those few years, if it's not enough of a pull, then they just end up sticking around, and so
I like that way you put that, just sticking around,
and
I'm done comedy, but I'm sticking around. I like that.
It would be more work for me to try, and so then you end up with people that like everyone knows.
Yeah.
Because they're always around.
Yes.
And then you like always kind of know what to expect because they never really change. And then a lot of time, and like I don't really think we have anyone like that around here per se.
Yeah.
But you definitely have your examples of like the ones you're not gonna be surprised if you see them here again in like 10 years.
Yeah.
So it's just kind of one of those cases, but it is the kind of thing that it's the kind of thing that any comic will tell you. It's you have to get out to be out and like go around to, because like if it became like your focus, you have to do it. Obviously if you took another pursuit and was doing it for fun, it didn't matter. But
no, I agree. It is important I've struggled with this in life because I thought originally, I moved to Des Moines to be with my wife, well, not married at the time, my girlfriend, and I was like, I'm going to be here for a couple of years and then I'm moving out. Turns out I loved my girlfriend a lot, and
I would hope so.
Yes. Yeah. And we got married, and now,
the spit take.
Yeah. And now she has a pretty damn good job she enjoys, and
all right, it's a good job and she enjoys it.
Yeah, and she enjoys it. So it's great. And so it's kind of, now it's evolved into, all right, I know I love comedy. I'm not going to be moving anywhere anytime soon unless for some reason I got noticed somehow and they're going to pay me a lot of money to move somewhere. Right. So it comes down to, it's like, yeah, you just enjoy where you are, and now it's just trying to make the scene as good as it can, and hopefully, people can stick around longer, if not. But I totally respect, you got to move, but at the same time, people think that you have to move to find success or find happiness or something, and that's not necessarily true.
No.
In a sense, but I do say, you need to travel around to different cities and try to, even if you're in Iowa, try to get on shows outside of just Des Moines or in wherever you are, in whatever city you're in. Just because you get to meet new people.
Yeah.
Fortunately for my work, I travel every once in a while, so I'll try to hit up open mics in new cities or try to do shows. And so it's a way you can just meet new people and see a different scene because it's nice getting out. You don't want to just be in the same place the whole time.
Yeah, if for anything other than just for the experience, yeah. No, and you're totally right too, and that's that can all go with the just kind of where you see it going.
Yes.
Because like obviously you've got your wife and you've got a setup here, and so to move away, so obviously it's asking a little more for you in your position to try to move away from it, but then obviously you do have plenty of single comics out there.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. If you're single, and you really want to do it,
get on the road.
Try to move out. But I will say, before you move, do comedy at least, and try. It's better to maybe start in a smaller scene.
Oh yeah,
just to build up
to that point,
some good jokes. So then when you do move to a big place, hopefully you get noticed a little quicker.
Yeah,
and you don't have to start at the you can kind of get a little head start on people who are new to that scene, because no matter wherever you move, you'll be a newbie for a while.
Yep, exactly.
And no one will actually think you're good because you're a new person. They won't really realize
One
it.
of the struggles,
and so starting in a smaller scene at least. Starting your scene, earn your keep, is usually a good idea. I'd say.
Big time. It really is. Yeah. Because I've thought about it, and once I hit like a year, I think if I'm at this point still where I'm like, this is something that I'm wanting to do, and I'm like, I just want to get better, then I'm thinking about maybe moving to. I'm thinking I'm probably gonna move to either Ankeny or just into Des Moines. Ankeny, just so that way it's like in between here in Des Moines. Yeah. And then it's like I can just.
But you're still in Ankeny, man. That's the problem.
That sucks. I said that was the sacrifice bit that I would be making. So it's not exactly a good alternative.
Yeah.
But then it would just be for the fact of the matter, like still being able to like drive to the job that I have.
Yes, if you're still working in Ames, that would make sense.
Yeah, exactly. And so, that's really the only reason I would move to Ankeny is just to be in between, and then I have to quit my job. But also, I've thought about just
there are plenty of dealerships in Des Moines.
That's very true.
That's
the thing is I just like the place I'm at.
I get that.
It's another one of those things where I gotta like sacrifice it for the greater good.
Yeah, it's hard to leave a job that you actually like when you enjoy the people you're around, or you at least enjoy it. It does make it a little more difficult. It's very easy to leave a job when you're like, screw all of this. I'm out of here.
Yeah, if you don't give a fuck anyway.
Yeah.
You, literally walk in and have a headache. Like that's a good set. That's a good job to quit. But yeah, I just want to be. I just see the benefit of being in the epicenter of things. Like if I was driving out of town once a week just to do the mic here,
yes,
as opposed to driving out of town twice a week to do the mics in Des Moines, it would be a lot easier. And then being in Des Moines, it's easier to go to all the other pop-up stuff and like the improv shows and like to hang out at Teehees.
There's a lot more shit. There's a lot more shows going on in Des Moines.
Yeah, exactly. It's
Ames.
Way more, especially in comedy, because Ames is so big into the underground music scene of like their friends who play guitar and stuff. So it's like there's a lot of local music going on.
That's what I've heard. I've heard house shows in the basement. Huge. Big thing people do. Because surprisingly, I know one of my coworkers is in a band, but I know quite a few people who are in bands.
Cool.
Huh?
I bet they're super cool.
I like it. I don't know. They all seem pretty cool. It's funny because I do think the indie music scene, and I know quite a few indie rappers in Des Moines too.
Yeah.
And it's all the same thing in the sense of we're all like, you just have to put it on yourself, and you hope people find it.
Yep.
And so I don't know. It's like they're all small communities in a sense, but you all kind of respect each other because you're all trying to do the best
Yeah,
you
with some
possibly
design.
can with what you're
Yeah.
given type
Yep.
of thing.
Very true. Very true. That and yeah, there's literally a venue that I know about called the Record Mill.
Yeah.
That is literally someone's house. And it's
Really?
Yeah, they redid their basement to be like a studio sort of live area, and so
Okay.
they had the way the basement is set up is like you'll go down, and then to the right there's like a pretty small area.
Yeah.
Where there's like a little tiny bar, but then behind it is because it's also a basement, so there's a washer and dryer back there, but then there's there's a counter, along the other wall that has a soundboard on it, and then they have like the mini drum set stage, and then they have it all set up so that way they can, and they have the amps, and then they have it all set up so they can have like this live performance. And through the other door there's like a smaller room where they have like a microphone recording booth, and then they have, like,
smokes,
the computer set up.
How big is this house?
It's like an average house. It's like
wow,
it's
there's a lot going on in it.
Yeah, it's like this house. It's like this house if we try to make it it's basically this if I tried to make it into what.
Well, you got a drum set here already,
yeah,
so you got that going on.
Yeah, we're one step of the way there.
Yes.
and then I have a computer.
And you have a computer. Perfect. All you need.
So if I could just get a double door recording booth, then I would have more going on.
Yeah.
But then but that's that's actually pretty close over in this side to me actually. But other than that, most if it's a house show, it's just like put up, kind of pop up.
Yes.
Like they're just kind of put together and then put on. It's not like a venue you can look up or anything. So it's one of those things. But it's definitely a cool kind of thing to that happens around Ames. Like ever since I was in school, that was always a thing. It's always been a big thing is that people are trying to make bands and just
that's
like
good.
jamming. Yeah.
Creativity is a good thing.
It is, yeah. It's fun and it's fun.
Yeah.
So it's one of those things. But not much for comedy except for the PPR mic.
The
Wednesdays.
The open mics.
Yeah, exactly. So but you got that, and then all the music you could ask for plus more. How long? And then how long have you been doing comedy now?
So since basically September of 2015
is
when I've consistently been doing it. Oh god, that makes 5 years this year.
Yes, it does.
So, I did it briefly in 2013. I did a couple mics, didn't get famous, so I was like, I'm done. It's kind of like that. It's sad.
I get it.
And so that happened, and then
you mean didn't happen?
Didn't happen. Yes, that's a better way to put it. Then, it'd be December 2014, I think, or fall of 2014. I was being a super senior in college.
Ooh.
And I saw one of my friends who I went to high school with, who was also going where I was going to college, was doing stand up, and I was like, I can do that.
Right.
I was like, I'm gonna get back into this, and I did. And so I periodically, like maybe once a month, did it through basically till I graduated in the spring. And then come fall of 2015, when I actually moved to Des Moines, that's when I was like, all right, I'm gonna get out,
right,
go to the 2 mics that are going on. And that's basically it. That's that,
right
and and I've been going ever since.
And where are you from originally?
Traer, Iowa.
Traer?
Yeah.
Am I saying that right? Traer?
Traer. Like the Spanish verb to bring. Not that you would know that.
No, I'll forget.
I think it might be in Spanish, be like traer, technically, is how they would say it. Traer. So that's up by Waterloo and Cedar Falls. It's about a half an hour south. Grew up on a farm
Very nice.
outside of town, in between that and then Dysart, Iowa too. So
I can see that. Dysart. It sounds like they try to say desert, Iowa.
Desert.
We will name it Dysart, Iowa.
Yeah, unfortunately not founded by Russians, I would say. A bunch of Germans founded that town.
So we will name it Dysart.
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 There you go. That's exactly.
Name it. 999.
That's exactly what happened when they found it. You
That's a shot by
got it
shot
spot on.
reenactment.
Yes, spot on. That's what we were
I'm a
told in
gra-
our
I'm a-
classes growing up.
Yeah, that was literally word for word what my history textbook said. So that's so you got factual, you got facts up here. We try to bring in some knowledge and learning into the podcast.
Very important.
Yes, exactly. And so now that we've got our history lesson out of the way, oh yeah, what was that? I just had a brain fart. Oh yeah, we were talking about how long you were doing comedy and everything.
Yeah.
And then the Graham has been around for 2 years. Am I
It'll
right?
be 2 years in July. Yeah.
2 years in July.
So about it. Yeah, in July. 2 years in July.
Yeah,
Yes.
right up inside.
And
Right
we've
on.
done, I don't know how many shows. Technically, we're on number 19 at this show, but we've done other shows at different spots that haven't counted towards the show. So we've probably done almost 25 to 30 shows at this point,
hell yeah.
which is
Right on.
been a lot, but been a lot of fun the whole way.
Definitely.
That's always a good time. It's fun to see how the show, it looks not much like how it first started out. It's really come a long way.
I can see that, yeah.
With the gear we've used and just the conceptual part of the show.
Yeah, definitely.
That's pretty amazing. It's pretty cool.
It's
It's
a
pretty
lot of fun. It is a lot of fun, man.
We like doing the show, or at least I like doing the show, because we get on.
Muhammad, I'm not so sure about.
Yeah, I don't know if he likes. But the reason I like doing it, because we're able to get on a lot of different people.
Yeah.
And it doesn't, a lot of times if you do like a showcase, a stand-up showcase type of show, you usually have to get people on that have been doing stand-up at least a little bit.
Yeah.
That have at least 5 minutes of material. But this show allows us to get people on earlier than that. If we just know they're funny. Like, that's basically it.
Yeah.
And I will say Muhammad does usually a lot of the scouting. He's the talent guy, has the eye for talent. But it's a way that we can get on people that we know are funny that may have not been doing comedy as long as other people, but we can get to them first, in a sense. They can get on the show, and we know they're going to do fine, because the show isn't set up where you have to do material. It's all based on how kind of quick you are.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, yeah, definitely. Yeah,
I mean, you were on it.
Right. Yeah.
And you all did a pretty wonderful job.
Well,
too.
thank you. I appreciate that.
It was pretty close. Yeah, I don't know.
Definitely.
My wife's been to quite a few of the shows, and she usually has a pretty honest assessment of how it goes. And she's like, this one, every contestant was good. Like, no one was like that bad, and no one was like remarkably way better than anyone. So
cool.
It's
that's
a good
pretty
show.
dope. Yeah. So Muhammad did well in the casting of the episode.
Oh yeah, he does a good job. Maybe a couple times. It's been questionable, maybe calling on someone a little too early, but overall, I let him basically do it, because I know he has a pretty good eye for talent.
Definitely, yeah, because it seemed like we had a good array of people and experience levels there.
Yes,
because we had because I don't know how long Dave's been doing it, but I think he's been doing it a little longer than me. And then Emily seems like she's been doing it quite a while, been at least in the scene.
Oh, she's been doing
it.
Emily's been doing improv for at least a couple, 2-3 years.
Okay, perfect. So then and then Xavier, the guy who won, who's only doing it for like 4 months.
Yeah, I know. It's crazy.
Yeah,
it's crazy how that stuff works.
Yeah, so we just had we had everyone kind of in that window there to kind of show.
It was it was pretty new-ish type of logic. That's the word of the day, apparently, for Muhammad.
For Muhammad, yes. Yeah, he gave out a lot of points for logic.
Yeah.
Yeah, that was a good one. Yeah, that's so it worked out well. But and that was funny when my parents left, and you asked me about it, and I was like,
"Yeah, your parents just left."
Yeah, I was like,
we
I
were
don't
concerned.
know.
They might not like the show. Hopefully, the hood fights didn't upset them too much. We've had that happen before, so
I could see that.
Yeah,
definitely. That's where I lost some. That's where I lost some footing. I think was a hood fight with hood fights one.
It's tough because it's all random. So sometimes you'll get a funny hood fight, or one that Muhammad chooses that you're just like makes everyone in the audience but just tighten up, because you're just like, this is awful.
Right?
Why are we doing this?
It's hard to watch. That's I can see that.
That's the beauty of the round. You just don't know what's going to happen.
Yeah, which you gotta love too, because you got it really helps keep the actual live moment in there.
Yeah, it keeps the live moment on there. So.
Yeah, definitely. It's it works. It was the kind of thing where the whole reason my parents did leave was just because literally they already had to drive like the hour out of town and they had to get up early, but I did. But when you left, I knew when you first asked, I knew that the response should be to express that they hated it.
That would have been funny.
Yes, so when you're.
I also would have felt terrible.
When you're like, your parents leave, I was like, yeah, they're really disappointed in me. And you're like, really? I was like, no, they just had to work. So it's but yeah, that's all it was. But it sucked that the weather had to be so bad, because I feel like there would have been a better turnout. Cooper said just for instance, like Cooper Patterson said he was on his way and got stuck in the snowbank.
So sad. I would think the weather, it wasn't the best of nights. No. So I think that always is gonna be a little damper. It is our month to month, our shows, in terms of audience, it does vary. Sometimes we'll have really good months. Some months we'll have maybe 2 or 3 people in the audience.
Really? Oh, wow.
But that's few and far between. It feels like that happens maybe once every 9 or 10 months. It feels like that happens, which is funny because our second show, we had a stacked cast. Like it was people who have been doing comedy in Des Moines a long time, basically. People who are very funny, and we had 3 people or 4 in the audience. And with our show, with how many people we have on stage, it's pretty easy to outnumber the audience. Yeah. That's a little weird. But with that show, the funny thing is, this is why people need to come to every show, is on that show, the lady who won, she had maybe been doing comedy, I think, less than a year at that point. She is now a writer for Big Mouth.
Really?
No joke.
Holy fuck.
Aida, her first name's Aida, last name's Osman, but I don't think professionally she goes by that last name. I think it's like Goitum. Okay. I don't know. Look her up. She has a huge Twitter presence. She is just, I don't know. We claim her, as like, I don't know if she'd claim us, but like it is one of our crowning achievements, because she was on, before that, her career just seems to be going up and up and up, basically, because she got on the latest season of Wild and Out. She was on that. Really? Which is like crazy that show's still on, but still impressive.
But
like, yes,
it's impressive that she got on it, but it's just
she like hosts she hosts a podcast. I think it's Keeping It Real, Keeping It 100. I don't know, something on 100. Yeah, basically on. I think it's an Earwolf channel, or Earwolf Network.
Earwolf.
Yeah, oh! And then she also did the CBS Diversity Showcase, which is a pretty big thing. Yeah. So I guess I'm just fangirling right now at this point, but I'm just saying, like, come to every show, because we do get legit people. There are other legit comics that may not have shot that way, but we've had people do the show that have been very successful. Yeah, and it's super fun.
That's really fun. Yeah. Hell yeah! I'm gonna have to check. I'm gonna have to look her up for sure. That's I think that's definitely the kind of thing I'd be interested in hearing about. And
is
kind of see, because I think I think that'd be a really good a good chance to just kind of like get an insight onto how that kind of process works, of how someone gets to be a writer.
Truthfully,
stuff,
you're just fucking talented. Like, it is that I've known, I know people when I was in New York that I'm still friends with that were very talented people, very funny. And you would think they would be more successful at this point. Right. But she just shot up. Like, this, I've never seen anything like this. Yeah. If in the end, it does comedy takes a lot of hard work. You do have to put in a lot of work. But at the end of the day, though, it is, if you're talented, like, it will shoot up. And also, she is a black Muslim queer woman.
Oh, really?
And that is something you don't see that often. And
that
she
is
is
a rare combination,
the most confident woman in the world. In the fact that she ain't scared of shit. And so it's like, I don't know. She is just her own person, and she knows exactly who she is. And that's, for a lot of comics, it's trying to figure that out and getting that across. And she just can hit so many different things. It's to do what she's done is like, just like so impossible in a sense.
Yeah.
To go from Lincoln, Nebraska, that's where she's from.
Oh, okay.
Or Omaha. I think she was at Lincoln at the time. But to do that and then to be a writer in Big Mouth within like 2 years.
Yeah, that's insane.
It is crazy.
Yeah, that's that's real talent too. Because like there's obviously there's when it comes to writing, like you have to like submit. I do know part of getting writing jobs is you have to submit writing things, and so clearly that work fucking like.
You have to have good writing things, and you have to know the right people too. Like that's the thing. You have to show that you're. I think a lot of it also is that people realize that you're funny, see that you're funny, and then that even speaks heads and volumes above just being like some random person sending in a writing type of thing.
Yeah, exactly.
Like you just have to get out there and just be confident and prove yourself. That's it. Man. I don't know. It's crazy. There's
a lot.
Impressive.
Yeah, I'm sure there's definitely more to it than what meets the eye, because it sounds like if she was like as confident as she is, and then having the benefit of being black and Muslim and queer, and then like so then that's a lot of experience in one person. It's
very. That's the thing, is it's so unique.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah. Unfortunately for me, I'm a white guy from Iowa.
Same.
Yeah, and
same.
It's just at this point in our history that's not as important.
It's not as popular.
Not as popular in
it's
the
not
sense.
Popping into 2020s.
Yes. Not that it can't happen, because it will, because there's definitely a market. But like,
right? Yeah.
For her, it's
exactly.
so unique and such a different thing. That's like, I don't know, with comedy and even like music or any of that stuff. You have to be unique and different.
You really do.
And yet you still have to hit everything. I don't know. You still have to hit everything and hit the spectrums, and people are.
No, you're right. You're absolutely right. Yeah, there's a whole market. That's why there's a whole industry and a market to it. And there's like there's comedians that you'll know that like they did, or there's comedians and musicians and artists, or like magicians, whatever it may be, that are doing a great job.
Yes.
But then maybe their marketing isn't so great, or maybe they need to turn up the confidence a little bit. Maybe maybe they're just like kind of need to improve in some area. Social media is a huge thing today. Getting your name out there. I think
that that's the funny thing, is comedy is not what it used to be in the sense, and it's always evolving. Everything evolves, but it's like, in the 80s, 90s, maybe even early 2000s, before the internet really took off, it was your stand-up. If you're gonna be a stand-up comic or a comedian, you're gonna put in time, you're gonna go on the road, you're gonna tell jokes, you're gonna do all that stuff. Hopefully someone notices, you know, and you're gonna keep doing your sets, and then you get a special, maybe you get a TV show.
Yeah.
And now with social media, if you're funny on social media, that might lead to something quicker.
Yeah.
But then it's like, then you run into the issue of then people who do that, but then try to start doing stand up.
Yeah.
And then it's like, they're clear, because stand up is an art in the sense of it takes a lot of time to become good at it. No one can be good at it within like most people. I would say, I'm sure there are exceptions, but most people, it takes years and years.
Yeah, exactly.
To become to know how it works in a sense. Everyone can go on stage and try to tell jokes,
right?
But to make it really good, it's pretty hard.
Yeah. Oh yeah, very true. That's very true. It's like Nick Swartzen.
Yes.
Actually, I just recently had heard him on a podcast talking about how he started, and he said that he was touring and doing the whole biz after like 6 months. And I was like, "You're fucking kidding me!"
That's the example of someone who's just has that talent.
Yeah, there's just like a very rare case. It's because again, like you have the most common case for comedians is like whether or not they go up at their first open mic to go to, or whether or not the first open mic goes well, they're probably gonna go through a long period of time where they're even just getting their bearings.
Yes.
And just getting like to the point where they can look comfortable on stage.
Oh yeah, absolutely. And it's also just a lot of right place, right time.
Yeah.
And you have to be good at that point.
Yep.
And some people are really good, but don't ever
No.
get that moment to shine.
Exactly.
And so like, yeah, as I said before, still a crapshoot.
Yeah. Still crapshoot. Yeah. And that's the thing is like you can like with social media you can like build your own following. It's not like it was at because obviously there was a point where like people were doing stand up and it was like part of it was all like to get it was like they were doing it to get a TV show.
Yes.
They're doing
that's
it
what a
to
lot
get
of
into movies, you know.
Yes.
Yeah, exactly.
I feel like a lot of time with stand up it is a lot of a lot of people I feel like use it to get to another point in their life, like I'll become a movie person. Most of the time I feel like a lot of them
gonna be a movie person.
Yeah, but
lay out Broadway.
But some end up actually staying in it and doing a good, and they love it. That's the thing. The people who are still doing it all those years usually just enjoy it that much, and it's I don't know, keep doing it. Like Dave Chappelle was super successful, and this is probably very cliche of me to say, but like he was so big and he was doing other things. But in the end, what's he still doing? He's still doing stand up.
Still doing stand up, yeah. It's like, and and you have to think to yourself, like even he had to start out at an open mic somewhere.
Yes.
It's like
everyone has to start at an open mic,
and so it's like it's one of the things that actually helps open micers go up, I think, is going to an open mic and then seeing people do so badly that you're like, you know what,
I can do better.
I can do better than this. Yeah, it helps you get up there and like get a little confidence when you look at it like that. There's, there are certain people that go up and you're just like, whew, all right. I'm not gonna be that.
Yeah,
bad.
You're not gonna be. That's
helps you relax.
Open mics are they're a beast unto themselves.
They are. Yeah.
It's essentially going to someone's house, or no, it's essentially going to the gym and watching people work out. That is how I like to think of it, because most of the time, most people are just working on stuff or doing newer stuff. It's not their polished material.
Yeah, exactly.
So you're essentially just watching them work out, and some people are good at working out and lift a lot of weights and do a good job. Other people look like their form's terrible and they're going to hurt themselves. And that's what terrible open micers can be like at
That's
times.
very true. That's exactly it, yeah. Yeah, so the headphones are a little old, so if it might, yeah. But
okay.
I forgot to warn you about the part on the head. It's like it might catch your fur. But
have you? I guess my question to you is, how have you enjoyed going to open mics? Then
I have
you
a
been?
lot. Yeah, honestly, there's like a few. Like it fluctuates, and I'm not letting myself get caught up in what it could be, because there's because I've noticed there's sometimes I'll go to an open mic, and even though it's like I know all the comics there, it's like there could be a different energy. Or sometimes I'll go in, it's like, ooh, I don't think anyone's having a lot of fun tonight.
Yes.
But overall, it is a lot of fun just to go to it and just see people work out their shit.
Oh yeah, open mics are. Yeah, I don't know. There are good and bad times.
Yeah.
Some mics go better or more enjoyable than other mics. I starting out, I think I paid a lot more attention to people, and then I think after a while, I just started being like, I try to pay attention as much as I can, but you almost, in a weird way, you've heard it all.
Yeah.
Essentially at an open mic. Like you kind of just like, it all sounds the same in a sense, but I enjoy it. I do.
I do too. Yeah.
I think what's helped me is I host an open mic at Java Joe's every Thursday, 7 p.m., 7:30 showtime. That's 7 sign up, 7:30 showtime. Please come. What I'm saying though is the hosting makes it a little more enjoyable because I at least am active the whole time. I think like when I just go to a regular open mic, I'm just so bored.
Right.
Because it's just like I'm waiting to go up in a sense. But I try. I think what helps me, enjoy it a little more is, you find out who the good people are, but after a few times, you kind of know who does a good job, and it's just watching those people and trying to learn from what they're doing and how they do well. That's the most important thing. Is you kind of try to take their techniques and then apply it the best you can to your own stuff.
Right. Yeah. Exactly. Yeah. No, that's a good point. And that is a big benefit to watching them all the time.
Yes.
But
don't get me wrong; they can be fucking slogs at times. Like that does happen.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. If you got a long running night of bad sets,
yes,
people are gonna be in a bad mood.
Yeah. Exactly.
Yeah. That definitely. Have you had any moment? Have you had like a set that you're just like, wow, that was like awesome, and you're just like, wow, like within the last year or so?
Yeah, I recently did this corporate show, and by corporate I mean it was just at a country club.
Yeah.
But it had been a while since I've done an actual show.
Yeah.
So I was just excited to do it. The only thing that kind of sucked was that weekend I was supposed to go to 2 shows in Minneapolis, but there was a big snowstorm, so I couldn't go.
Shit. Yeah.
But I was able to hop on this show because the guy had reached out to me earlier in the week and was basically like, wanted me to host, but I was like, I might be gone. But he's like, if you can't go, just let me know and I'll give you some time. So that's how it ended up going. So I went, and it was fun because most of the time I don't like doing my older stuff to people that have seen it before, because I try as much as I can to be fresh, but all these people I knew hadn't seen it, and so I was able to do this older material that I don't do unless I absolutely am failing, because most of the time these jokes work very well.
Yeah.
So it really went well. I was able to do a couple newer jokes too, so then I didn't feel like I was just not learning it.
Right, yeah, exactly.
That I was able to be like, okay, these also work in this environment.
Yeah.
And it went really well. The crowd really loved it. After the show, I had a bunch of people come up and were talking to me because I'd talk about my hometown, and I had a lot of people that knew where I was from, which was weird.
That is weird.
But so I was able to just connect on the crowd with that basis, and it was a lot of fun, because I think what I struggled with early on doing comedy, and this is something I think most people do struggle with, is you want to go up and you want to be like, these are my jokes. Yeah. You're going to laugh at them. I'm utterly more clever than you.
Yes.
Exactly. And that's what I thought. And it is true to a sense. You obviously have to have funny jokes. But you have to feel what the audience is feeling. Yeah. In the end, it all comes down to how the audience is doing. And I was able to play with the audience a little more and kind of go in and out of material. I didn't plan on doing this whole bit, and then I went into it because I realized the audience was enjoying it. And so I was able to just do that, and it went really well. And I just kind of see that all come to fruition in this at this show. Was great. That's basically what I'm saying.
Right. Yeah. No. Definitely. Yeah. No. For sure. And that's that's super cool. Yeah. And that it works out to your benefit, just out of coincidence too, that your hometown was such a big hit with everyone.
Sometimes it works for some, and most of the time it's never been that big. Sometimes I will be like one person. It's like, yeah, I've heard of that.
I know that place.
This time, it was. Yeah, it was like a ton of people. So
that's awesome.
It was great.
Yeah, definitely. Right on, man. How long have you been hosting at Java Joe's?
Okay. So at Java Joe's since September of 2018.
Okay. And then outside of Java Joe's, with no one asking you to do it for like a few years or something?
So before Java Joe's, it was I did at Voodoo.
Voodoo.
Have you ever been to Voodoo downtown?
I haven't been to Voodoo, no.
So on the weekends, Voodoo is just a dance club.
Oh, okay.
With carpet on the floor everywhere.
Ugh.
Yeah, it's gross.
That's
I don't
weird.
understand. The reason that happened is I knew, from doing comedy, I just wanted to try to get doing more stuff, and hosting is an easy way to get onto shows a little quicker, or to it's a trait not everyone wants to be a host because
Right.
you kind of do have to be more cheery and just like
you gotta be on it for the whole show.
yeah, and you're the first person out.
Yeah.
So you have to really bite the bullet in a sense. You really have to work hard to try to get the audience revved up, and it's not about really you. It's more about trying to build up the other comics.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
So that's what and like I'd been wanting to do that, and then finally, I'd kind of been helping out host at different mics when Last Laugh, which was a comedy theater in West Des Moines. When that was open, I hosted maybe once or twice or something. Someone had asked me to fill in.
Yeah.
And then when that shut down, that mic moved to a couple different places, ended up at Voodoo. And then those guys doing that didn't want to do it anymore.
Yeah.
And because I think one of the guys was moving away, Tommy O'Neill.
Okay.
But Tommy Morgan was actually the host of that too, and he didn't really want to do it anymore. So then I took it over. I think Sam Hershock was supposed to take it over with me.
Oh, okay.
I didn't want to commit all my time to it.
Right, yeah.
Hershock really didn't want to commit his time to it, so then I ended up doing it. There's nothing wrong. I understand why Hershock didn't want to do it.
Yeah.
He's not really a host.
Right, yeah.
He's more just a performer.
Yeah, I'm not much of a. I don't think I'd be much of a host either.
Well, I think you'll give us some time. Maybe you will.
All right.
You'll figure it out. Maybe if you don't want to, that's fine. That's fine too.
Okay.
So I started, and I did that at Voodoo. Audience, we didn't get really an audience. It was literally like a stand-up workshop.
Yeah.
It was just stand-ups would come, and usually less than 10. So it went pretty quick. But then I don't know. It started at 9, so it was already late, and
right.
I don't know. I was just like, I want to just get done, and I want to move to a space that's, I just want to get somewhere else where there's an actual stage and
exactly.
And turned out Java Joe's with their little theater space was the perfect spot, and other people had started doing shows there.
Yeah.
So I found out who he had to contact, and after a little bit of reaching out, and the guy let me come on in, and been doing it ever since there. And slowly over time, it has grown. We've gotten more comics out. We do have a few people who consistently come just watch the mic, which is great.
That is really cool. I noticed that's a pretty common one to see new faces at. Like obviously, Teehees is a good one.
Yes,
because it's like a legit club. So
yes,
it's usually a good place to hang up. And then Java Joe's has a good crowd too. For that.
Yes, it does. And so I mean we've done pretty well, and especially with Teehees starting with their open mic. Fortunately, we've been able to work, and they've been gracious enough to work with us at Java Joe's to allow comics to get to 2 mics. So we just start early enough where then people can hopefully come to our mic, do their set, and then stay for hopefully most of the time, and then they can get over to Teehees because we'll get them signed up at Java Joe's. So then people can hit 2 mics in one night in Des Moines, which is super rare.
It's very rare.
Or in like a city of our size, and then 2 open mics that are relatively close to each other and have decent audiences at them.
Yep.
Like last week, we had the largest audience I've ever had at Java Joe's. I literally do no promotion. I have posters just up in Java Joe's outside of Java Joe's, and that's all I've done ever.
Yeah.
And we had like a full audience. People were standing, and that was wild.
That was super cool.
Yeah, it was super cool. Also, Java Joe's closes at 10, so it's just like a panic of trying to get everyone on stage and getting out of there in time.
Exactly.
So we learned once we hit a certain threshold of comics, we were going to have to just tell everyone they're going to have to do just like a minute less or something. But I didn't really want to worry about that till it became a problem, and it's a good problem to have. And
it is. Yeah, exactly.
So I don't know. I really like hosting at Java Joe's because we're able to start at like 7:30 because most of the places around, I think most places, at least in the Midwest, it starts about 8:30.
Yeah,
I personally like being done earlier than later. I think when we were doing Voodoo and it started at 9, it was so late. It was like my night's shot.
Right.
At least when I was at Java Joe's, if I don't want to do anything afterwards, I'll be out of there by 10 or something, but I've already had, or 9. It's
right. Yeah.
I don't know. It's set up. I just like it a lot better. It's downtown. We're able to hit we get a lot of people that will probably go to Java Joe's for maybe coffee or something. Like, you know what? I'll go in. I'll check this out for a little bit.
Yeah, because that's funny too. Because there are people that are like sitting outside of the theater, just in the coffee shop, just like hanging out, that can't hear the comedy. And
Yes,
like they're just doing their thing, They're just like, well, this is just the spot I want to be anyway.
Yeah,
so it's like you always have the chance that they might be like, come in.
I'll check it out. I'll see how it goes.
Yeah,
It's great. And I was just thinking about this today, so this is why this is on my mind.
Yeah.
It is the only mic, the main open mics in the metro area, including Ames. I think I haven't been to the Timeout open mic yet.
Really?
But it is the only mic that has where the bar or service counter, whatever you want to call it, is not in the same room as the mic.
That's true.
And that, I think, of the places I've gone to do comedy and the places that I enjoy the most are places where the bar is not in the same room.
Honestly,
because the bar takes away so much in a
Right.
sense, because people are you have to talk around the bar.
Yeah.
In that sense, Teehees does a pretty damn good job. Since I've been there, it's usually not super loud. They do a good job of trying to keep everyone shut the fuck up.
Yeah.
But other places I've been in, the bar sometimes can take control.
Yeah.
And then it's just like you're telling jokes to people who are talking, and it's just not fun.
No, definitely not. No, I've definitely been guilty of being the guy who like who's having a bit of a good night, and then I was at the bar, and then like I was talking, and then got talking to other comics, and maybe got a little loud.
Oh yeah,
But,
I have too. I've been in the same boat. I mean, we've all been there. It happens.
Right.
But that's what, if you get too crazy at Java Joe's, you can just go out to the other place. But also, it's a coffee shop, so no one's getting like hammered.
No.
They have alcohol, so
you
can at least do that. But no one's getting hammered there
exactly,
to have that happen.
You have that benefit working for you. Yeah.
Yes.
So exactly. You get exactly. Like I'll get a buzz, but like maybe, but I'll probably only have like two, maybe. She'll just shove her way in, I'll have maybe 2-3 drinks at the most. And then I go over to Teehees anyway, so so I head over there, and it's definitely it's handy, because the first time I didn't realize that they had like just like alcohol and stuff.
I don't think most people do.
No,
and I don't think that was always the case in Iowa. I
don't think it probably
something got
was,
changed
right.
in the law. And now like any coffee shop you go to has booze just waiting for you.
Yeah, they know what their people want.
Yeah.
And then I guess since we are at 7-Eleven right now, I'll just check with you before we get too far in it. Do you have to? Is there like a specific time you're wanting to leave? Because I figured we'd go to about roughly at this point like 7:30.
I do not care, because I'm gonna go to the open mic.
Right.
I just have to eat before I go.
Yeah, exactly.
And
So,
that's it. There's
me too.
Nothing. We can go eat somewhere before it. But
cool.
I do not have a time
Okay,
limit
cool.
at all.
Cool. I didn't know if it's like I figured there would be I figured 7:30 would be good for exactly that reason of good. If you want to grab something to eat. So there was but yeah. So then we can march on then. It's and that's definitely the kind of thing I only know because I like saw all the liquor bottles and was like,
you're like, why?
I was like they have them for a reason.
And they're not just putting them out there.
Yeah, exactly.
Like, hey, look, we got some old liquor bottles.
Right? Yeah, they can't possibly have like they can't possibly be related to just specialty drinks or something.
Yes.
And so I was like, can I just do like a it might be weird. Can I just do like a whiskey Coke? And he was like, yeah, that's fine. I was like,
that's
cool.
It is funny. I've seen people get like screwdrivers there, and it's like the mixed drinks part is oh, you are not a fan of mixed drinks.
No, she fucking hates screwdrivers.
She hates screwdrivers.
The last time she had one, she blacked out.
She blacked out. Doesn't remember the night.
The night. No, yeah, exactly. She had to get in a puption.
Yeah. Nice.
Thanks.
It is weird when people are getting mixed drinks there, because I'm like, this is a coffee shop.
Yeah.
I personally have not gotten one, but I'm fine if you do. You know?
Oh yeah, that's
you're giving them business.
Yeah,
exactly. It's a two-way street for us.
Yeah, I like the I like the idea. I think there's something about having a drink at an open mic. It's just it feels.
Most people do it.
Classic, and to me. For sure.
The classic beer on the stool on stage.
Yeah, it's like, and it's definitely the kind of thing that you expect people to be drinking at, like because of nerves.
Yes.
Yeah.
It was funny. One story about that. I was in my job. I work, and one of the things we have to do is like do webcasting. really, it's literally I sit on a computer and I watch a webcast while other people watch a webcast with me.
Very nice.
And so, but this one guy, the speaker, who's like, looks like a professional speaker, is talking. And he did the most awkward take a drink out of water I've ever seen. Like, it was like he stopped talking, grabbed, came back, took a drink of water, and then put it back. Didn't say like anything during that time, and it was like 5 to 10 seconds. And I was like, this is one skill stand-ups have, is that they're really good at grabbing a drink and then like talking through it in a sense where it looks smooth and it's not super awkward. Like I was shocked at how awkward it was.
That's so awkward.
I was like, any stand-up, even the worst open micer can at least do that.
Yeah, they're at least gonna be like, hey man, like this thing, but like okay, but then the only time you see them not do that is if it's gotten such a good laugh what they just said that they're like, I got a second. And then
exactly.
They can go for it, but yeah, especially at an early level, you gotta learn to talk around your shit as I am doing right now.
Yeah.
I was gonna talk through while I do it.
Maybe it could be a little smoother, but you'll get there.
I'm working on it, I'm
You're working on it.
Still an amateur.
Yes.
I got yeah, man. It's definitely it's a good point. It's kind of a. It doesn't seem like a real
skill,
like a real yeah. It doesn't seem like it'd be a real skill, but when you end up then you find out it's something you actually don't do naturally, and then you're like, "Whoa, shit!"
Yeah,
like
not as good at
it. Yeah, like last night at the Lefties mic, there's a dude who I talked to. I think I was there last week, and he was there, and he was early 30s, and he was like he hadn't done an open mic before, but he had interest in doing comedy, and so he was like checking out the mic and seeing what it was about, and so then he finally went up last night.
How'd he do?
It was the first timer.
You talk about his dick?
He was so much. No, but he
good.
No, he.
That's how to pass an open. Mic. Your first open mic is don't talk about.
Don't talk about your dick. I agree with that. Yeah. I agree with that. He was. It wasn't great. He kind of had a couple like kind of like it was kind of. He was like I like.
It's pretty hard to do very well. First time.
Exactly. But but then again, he also didn't have a lot of confidence, and he was kind of quiet. A lot of mic moving, and it's like. And then he didn't move the mic stand out of the way even, so it was
cardinal sin.
Yeah,
cardinal sin. When you don't move that mic stand.
Yeah, if you don't get that out of the way, it's all downhill from there. Yeah.
There's one lesson you take away is you move that goddamn mic stand.
That fucking mic stand. So literally, that was what I did. Was I went up to him and I was like, the only thing I'm gonna tell you because it's your first time. Just move the fucking mic.
Yeah, it looks so awkward if the mic stand is just right in front of you.
Yeah, exactly. It looks like you're trying to hide behind it.
Like
a cartoon, or like somehow you can hide your whole body behind like a light pole.
Yes.
So it's like it's that it was that kind of thing. So literally when he was done, I went up to him and was just like only piece of advice I'm gonna give you for your second time is just to move the mic stand out of the way and then work on the other shit later. But he was like, but he's a nice guy, and so it was just good. So it was like if he just keeps going with it, maybe it could be some. But
confidence is key.
It is.
I think that
you got to really sell yourself and your material.
That at least starting off, confidence can get you pretty far in terms of just like getting over with the audience.
Yeah.
Because if they don't think you're scared, then they're fine. But if they know that you're scared, then it's really hard to convince an audience after that point.
It really is,
So the easiest way is just to take command of that stage and just own it.
Yeah, exactly. And that's definitely not an easy thing to do. Like I definitely wasn't the most confident person in life growing up, and so it was it's something that I have learned.
Yeah.
But then it is also something that you can also be taken down a notch if you are confident.
Yeah, it's well, you don't want to be too confident to the point where then if it doesn't go well, then your just self-esteem is shot beyond belief, or you're just an arrogant person, and you don't want to be that person.
No,
that's
you
just
don't.
Blatantly arrogant.
Exactly. Yeah, like the there's definitely like cocky can be funny, but you got to do it right.
Yes,
that's very true. Yeah, I really the whole I never thought I could do comedy until. Oh, her tennis ball's underneath the table, so she's trying to fish her
damn
out.
tennis ball. This is the dog's worst nightmare. The tennis ball gets trapped under it.
No,
she got it.
let me actually give you a little detail about my dog here. What she likes to do is she will intentionally push it underneath. Like she'll do the paw thing where she like puts and then tries to, and then like pops it under.
Yes.
So he like puts the pressure on the side of the ball to make it like pop out, and then she'll knock it under the table, and then her game is to fish it out. And then she'll get it out and then do it again. So it's like
keeps herself entertained.
Yeah,
it's a good way.
So like there'll be sometimes where I'm like, she'll be like, want me to play, and then I'll throw her the ball, and then she'll just start doing that.
I'm done with you.
What do you want me to do? And then she'll come get it, and then she'll come like start howling at me if she can't reach it.
Like, you did it to yourself.
Yeah, exactly. Like,
that's your own fault.
Dad. So and I gotta get up and help her, and then but she's funny as fuck though, and one thing that's is pretty common with her and huskies is she's very talkative. So so that's why she was giving her opinion earlier. She did not like screwdrivers. No, she was not a fan. She brushes her teeth quite well, and orange juice doesn't go well with that. Yeah, but then
understandable.
Yeah, so that's it's one of those things. But that's. Hey, who is a fan of that? But then, okay. So now that we have gone off track sufficiently, I see, where were we? But yeah, we were talking about the confidence on stage. So it's really the reason I was saying it wasn't something I ever thought I could do until last year, but I started watching a lot of comedy, and then and I listen to a lot of podcasts, and so from comedians, and so I've heard all angles on everything, and that was what really, and I've always had the interest in performing, because obviously being in bands and doing music and stuff growing up, so I was always trying to find some way to get laid. But
not gonna happen in stand up.
Yeah, so it hasn't yet.
Most open mics.
I think if I wasn't so stupid. It was. I think I had a good shot one night.
What happened,
as I
man?
Think back to it. There was a girl. There's another she was another comic, and I guess she was also from Ames. And so we were talking, and we were having fun at Lefties, and and my set had gone decent, and she had a good time, and she was there with her gay friend.
Okay.
That's just more of a observation, more than a necessary detail. But,
okay. Yes.
But just in case anyone was offended, but no, basically they were just really cool. We were hanging out, and then she was like. And then she started saying I should go to West Town Pub after the show and go and meet her there to go drink and hang out longer, and she lived near it, and I was like,
yeah, you blew your chance, my man.
I did. Yeah, I did.
That is a solid. You blew your chance. I'm sorry, man.
Yeah, I really did. And
not that I'm a ladies' man by any sense, but that does sound like
you're also married.
She was dropping hints. Yes.
Yeah.
I lucked out incredibly.
I had already started drinking by the time you started talking, so I can make any, but I can make any excuse I want. I should have been more observant, but but it's one of those things. But then Tommy Morgan last week at Teehees did make a comment, because I think what happened was Kirsten, I think her name is something or other. She went up and she did her set, and she her set was kind of centric on
let's give it a blowjob.
It was all of her best methods, and the tips and tricks that have worked well for her. And
yeah,
my stepfather's told me. No,
I've never actually seen her do that set, but I've heard it. I've heard people talk about it. I've never heard any other person have a set talked about more than this set. Apparently. I'm not saying it's good or not, but I'm just saying the word on the street.
The word on the street.
The word on the street is I've heard a lot of people talk about her particularly.
She's got. I tell you what. She's gotten a lot of attention on this podcast. But
what?
Because I go whenever I talk to comedians, we'll talk about it, and then typically she'll come up because we'll be talking about a previous night that we were at, a previous open mic we were at, and that she was at. And so then we'll be like talking.
You guys
about
are clearly at more different open mics than I have because I haven't seen this. By the way, she's a fan of the board game Titanic. I had bonded with her over that last week at Teehees.
Interesting.
Yes,
fun.
Was talking about it on stage, and she wanted to talk about it afterwards.
Hell yeah!
I didn't know anyone else knew what the board game is. Also,
no, I didn't know. That
that's
was
the thing.
That's cool.
Also, the thing about stand-up comedy is be relatable. Sometimes I love talking about shit that is not relatable.
No, definitely
and
not.
It makes me more happy.
A Titanic board game, though, does not have to be relatable. That's hilarious on its own. Just the
great.
idea.
The whole idea is to get off the boat before other people, so you don't die. That is literally the point of the game. Is don't die.
That's so funny. Oh god, the whole point of the whole point of the game is to not be Jack at the end. That's great.
Essentially.
Wow, man. That's it.
It also has the characters in that game, the cards.
Yeah.
There's like an Asian woman, a guy from Italy, I believe, a French woman, something else. But it's like very kind of racist cards. Like if you read it, you're like, I really think the Asian one is like
the worst.
Kind of, yeah. It's just like, oh man, I think you can probably say it, but like it's written in an Asian voice, I guess. And you're just like, if you're a white person playing the game, you're like, this does not feel right.
An Asian voice.
Yes.
So you're trying to read it straight.
Yeah.
You're just like
I'm not going to do it because I feel like that's offensive in a sense of like how I would describe it as. But that's what me and her bonded about was
so funny.
Was this not her expertise, I guess, at giving blowjobs.
Right. Yeah, because I think because at Teehees, one of the last one I saw her do, she was talking about how her background was in fashion and how like there's a dude in the back like wearing a Hawkeyes hoodie and like he shouldn't expect to get laid, and like all this, and then I was like, Hawkeyes hoodie? She talking about Dave?
It was probably Bowman, wasn't it?
Yeah, and then Dave comes up and is like, I had cancer twice. And I was like,
that is great.
So I was like, if I was like in my head, if I was Kirsten, depending on where I was, if I was like early and then I admit that was my set, and then David got up and like, so I had cancer. I've been like, oh god, I'm an asshole.
Yeah.
But like now I'm like, but now I've got to the point where I'm like, that's just fucking hilarious.
Yes.
That happened. It's like that's so great because it's like that's not even like I'm a because if my memory serves, that's who it was because that's who I every time.
That sounds right.
Yeah. So
so what? I guess what was you were talking about Tommy Morgan? He said something to you.
So it was so after it wasn't to me. It was like in the mic, but it was because it was after it was right after her set when he like brought her off and brought on the next person. She was saying what she was saying, but he was like, I made out with the girl here last week right outside while wearing swim trunks. So you got no excuse or whatever. So I was like, man, that's really funny. If Tommy here was wearing swim trunks and made out with someone outside, I'm not saying, it's like.
I do remember. I don't remember. I did not see him make out, but I do remember him wearing swim trunks.
Yeah. But and he'll wear shit with like the zipper wide open because it's like broken, and so it's like, yeah, if he can make out with someone, then you just literally have to try.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Anyone can make out with anyone.
With anyone.
With anyone. And that's the fun. And I don't know. That shows the fun part being about a host is that part. In between, especially on open mic, is riffing and then making that joke about it. Especially when I'm not gonna say her set was probably bad, but I imagine most people were not enjoying it as much as she was probably enjoying telling it.
Yeah,
and that's the key in an open mic is when you get that type of person to go up. It doesn't go as well as they think it is going.
Yeah, yeah.
It's to get that audience, try to make a joke or try to do something to get the audience back. On board.
Right.
It's always the fun part and hard part, but fun.
Yeah. No, yeah, big time. That's and the problem, and honestly the problem is because I was talking to Mike Getler about this yesterday just briefly was just because like she gets a lot of flack and I totally get why, but the problem is that it's like she's really just doing it for fun. And so it's like I don't actually have a problem with her. It's just that I can see why comics would probably I could just like I could deduce, most likely reasons that people would.
I think it's for me. Granted, I still haven't seen this.
Right. I don't think I've seen the set either.
And I know you can talk to Muhammad about this because I'm pretty sure Muhammad enjoyed that blowjob set at one point. and I'm not saying I just like I think a lot of people if it's pretty dirty like that or a sense, not a lot, but like it just is a little much at times.
Yeah.
And I think that's what's hard for people.
Yeah, definitely.
But I mean, anyone, that's open mics. You can literally talk about anything and you can make it funny and not. But it's the same as when open micer guy comes up and talks about his sex life or his dick the whole time.
Yeah.
I personally I don't have a preference towards that stuff as much.
Yeah, I just prefer that it's funny, you know?
Yes,
it's like,
as long as it's funny.
Yeah.
That's the thing. Her stuff, maybe it'll get there.
Yeah, exactly.
But right now, she's new, so it
definitely.
takes time.
Yeah, and I don't, you know, like I'm not particularly a fan of the whole idea that like girls have to talk about sex to be funny. Like I've never.
Oh no,
I've never been. That was never a thing with me.
I am more impressed by any girl who doesn't do that and is funny. I've seen a couple girls. There's this one did a comedy festival in San Diego, and she is out of LA or whatever.
Nice.
And she was the most abstract, weird, just goofy comic.
Yeah.
And I thought she was spectacular.
Yeah.
For that reason.
Oh yeah.
It was the fact that I had not seen a girl not talk about sex, and she didn't.
Yeah.
She was just a weirdo.
Yeah, exactly.
And it was fucking great.
I would love that.
And
exactly.
it was so much
forte.
Like I don't mind it, but yeah, I do think like I remember there was some female comics, you know, they get mad at guys talking about their dicks and their sex life, but then they go up and do the same thing, just vice versa, and it's like still not as good, still not as good. I meant still not good. Like,
yeah,
it's
exactly.
the same
it doesn't
as
make it any better.
guys doing it.
Yeah,
It's like, ooh, cool, female perspective on this. I still don't care about.
No, yeah, exactly. Like it's like, and because it's like an image that's been run into the ground at this point. It's just like because you know, if you go up and you do someone else's material, or if you kind of like, or if you are too similar to someone, that's not gonna work either.
No,
you know, it's like you can only be funny and reference so much so until it's like you got to realize that it's like you can't just do it because someone is famous off it. Like. Sure, you know, Amy Schumer, for example, is like she has a lot of sex jokes.
Yeah.
Like, sure, she's real famous for it now. Maybe Nikki Glaser is like a purely sex joke comic, but like it's like her thing.
Yes.
You know, it's like she is at that point now. They're like the comics that are at that point now where it's like they have it so unlocked that like they're immediately in reference. Like once you get into that category too hard.
Yeah.
You know, and the first time I saw Kirsten go up, it was her opening line was, "Guys, I am horny," and we all lost our minds because we were like, "That's so stupid."
Yes.
Just like as off the bat, we were like, "No, this is gonna
don't
go bad.
do
This is
this."
gonna go bad," because she was wearing a shirt that said "filthy mouthed wife," and we were like, "No."
Yeah.
And so all these bad signs together, and so, but yeah, it was just one of those things where it's like she tried it out, but it was like too on the head.
Yes.
It was like, you know, and so for the rest of the acts, it was like every other comic or every couple comics we're going up being like, "Guys, I am horny." Let me tell you.
True.
Yeah. So
I don't want to sound like I'm dunking on her. I'm putting her down or any of that sense.
Yeah. I try to avoid it, but I find it hard to because I analyze everything. Yeah. And so it's obviously being in a situation I'm around
the fact
enough.
is the material she's doing. It's like you can just do so much more with other stuff. It's just so well worn into the ground.
Yeah, exactly.
No one wants to hear anyone talk about that.
Yeah, exactly. Because it's like you're beautiful. Clearly, you got your other shit going on for you. It's like you don't have to do it.
Yeah, you don't have to make this. I don't know.
Tell Fashion World stories or something. I don't know. It's like something.
Tell something that isn't. I don't know. I do not enjoy. I don't not enjoy, but I'm just not. Dirty comedy is just not as much.
Right.
If people do it well, I'm impressed and like I'm all for it.
Right. Yeah.
But like most of the time, it's like if I see an open micer do it, I'm just like,
yeah. I'm not just laughing at the fact that you made some kind of comment about a penis. Like it's like you got to really work it in there.
Yeah.
You know.
And I'm not saying I haven't done it because I
definitely
like,
have.
That's the thing.
Exactly.
Like, it is
no,
that.
For sure.
But.
Yeah, I realized I've been making like a lot. I kind of like feel like I've made too many gay jokes already to the point where I'm like I should probably just try to avoid it for a little while just for the benefit. It's
always good diversifying. Not to go too heavy on something.
Yeah, exactly. But we are okay. So actually, I just looked at the clock. Here we are at 7:30.
What?
Woo!
There we go.
Oh God. Okay. But yeah, man. I think honestly, this went by very smoothly. This was a lot of fun.
Yes, thank you for having me.
I loved having you. So while we're at this point here, I cannot let you go before we get your shit plugged. What do you got coming up? What do you got going on? Obviously the Gram.
Yes, the Gram. When does this come out?
This will probably come out next. It'll either come out next week or the week after.
Oh, okay, plenty of time. So, let's think. Next week, probably not. I won't. In 2 weeks in Des Moines at F&O's, Felix and Oscars, we are doing the Gram at Adult Pizza Party.
Hell yeah.
Tommy Morgan, who we've talked about, will be a guest judge with us.
Very nice.
And we'll
Hell
have
yeah.
5 contestants. I'm trying to think who's all. One of the contestants, Clifton Antoine, who's been on the show, who is
a very funny guy.
The Graham Hall of Famer at this point, because he's literally been a musician, he's been a judge, and a contestant.
That's dope.
He'll be great. He's on the show. As is, I think we got a couple new ladies doing the show who I think will be phenomenal.
Hell yeah.
And a couple other guys, and I'm sorry that I don't remember
it's
any
all
of
good.
that. We got that show going on. End of the month. Yeah, I don't think I'm doing a stand-up show for a bike club, but I don't think that's open to the public. I think I'm probably gonna get a bike thrown at me. Like I'm talking like a motorcycle bike club, not just like beer drinking. Let's go to a brewery bike.
Right?
Like,
yeah.
that type of club. These bikers, I guess, would also drink beer. Probably moonshine.
To get so that way they can feel the buzz.
Yeah, they can feel the buzz. And so. In March 20th, the Gram will be at Teehee's Comedy Club.
I will be there.
Yes.
Yeah.
So please tell all your friends and your wife and your children. And not your children, they're not 21. But anyone above 21, please come out to the Gram at Teehee's.
Yes.
We want that place nice and full.
Hell yeah.
So we can keep doing the show there and having a fun time. And just kicking ass, I guess.
Hell yeah, man.
But seriously, do come to the Gram because it is a show you can see multiple times, and it's always different.
Hell yeah.
In a sense.
Exactly, yeah.
It's never the same thing.
Yep, I was just on it. It was a hell of a time. There's the videos recently put up on YouTube.
Yes.
Number 18 of the one I'm on
The
there,
Gram,
so you can check that out.
Number 18. You
Gram
can just
number 18.
you can just search my name, Sean Dengler, SeanDengler.
Perfect.
And you'll find it.
Yeah, there you go.
After that.
Hell yeah.
Yeah, I think that's I do have a podcast.
Oh hell yeah.
Called Pandering Talk.
Pandering Talk.
That I do with my friend occasionally. Mainly sports oriented.
Right on.
Some movie stuff.
Okay.
I also in that same network. So I like have a network in a sense. That's what I call to make myself sound cooler. But it's literally the same. It's on the same channel. I do another thing once a week called A Day in Life, where I talk about usually something that has happened to me in the last week.
Yeah.
It's usually 10 to 15 minutes. It's never
right.
longer than that, typically.
Okay. Yeah.
So you bust it out real quick.
Yeah, definitely.
And then once a month with my friend Dan Cutler, we do a show called What a Pitch. And we have we just had Dante will be our next guest here, Dante Powell. And
nice.
He comes on, and everyone who does come on pitches a movie, and then we literally just make a movie. We describe who's in it, what's the cast in. We always end on the trailer for the movie.
Nice.
So.
Hell yeah.
I think that is it. Oh, I also write for the Traer Star Clipper as just randomly. I don't get paid. It's literally like I view it as a volunteer opportunity.
Okay, there you go. Yeah.
No one reads it, but our old people read it. No one here would read it.
You're really building your audience. You're reaching all age groups.
Yes, I'm going for everything. And I do a lot of dumb shit. I think that's it. Otherwise, come out to the Java Joe's open mic Thursday, 7 p.m. sign up, 7:30 showtime. Go to other open mics, Lefties, Teehees, the ones in Ames, Timeout, and at Mother's Pub. I think that is it. Just support local comedy.
Yeah,
that's
big
all,
time.
That's all I can say. I know people love supporting their local breweries. It's the same for comedy.
Yeah, exactly.
Just do that.
Yeah, and open mics.
That's it. Sorry,
open
that
mics
was
are free.
Yes, open mics are free too.
Yeah.
That was a lot of plugs. So I
get it in.
apologize.
No, don't apologize. Yes, I don't.
I don't want to sound. I'm sorry. I don't want to be like, oh,
got
look at
shit
me.
going on,
I'm a
man.
real successful person.
Oh
like,
God,
I'm,
calm down.
I'm not. I'm not. I try to do the best I can.
Well, it's too late. You've already convinced us all that you're highly successful. So you can't avoid.
I
it
wish
now.
that was the
High
case.
expectations now.
I wish I would got a shit ton of money right now,
exactly.
but I do not.
Alrighty, but yeah, thank you everybody for listening to this episode. They Came From the Underground. Follow us on social media at They Came From the Underground or TCFTU Podcast on Twitter because They Came From the Underground was too long. And then like I said, check out my episode of the Gram on